Hey everyone. How's it going?
Nailed it.
Nailed
Great. How
it.
you doing?
I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. I'm gonna make an adjustment.
Okay.
I'm from the Department of Justice, so I'm gonna make an adjustment.
Is that what they do there?
That's what, yeah, they adjust
Are you sure they
things.
don't make an adjustment?
Yeah.
Are you because they adjust this? They do adjustments?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
okay. Okay.
What? Welcome everybody. It's Don't Worry Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right.
This is our favorite show.
It is actually. This is my favorite show. Uh, at least
It's
the
my
ones that I'm on.
it's the favorite one that I'm on. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right.
It's the only one that I'm on. I like it.
Me too.
Uh, no.
It's the
Anyway.
best.
Yep, this is Don't Worry Wednesday. It's a show where we handle any issues, challenges, topics that you supply us in the chat. Anything you might be going through, we would be happy to talk about it. We are not professional therapists or counselors or anything like that. We just want to be your friend and help in any way we possibly can. And I think I just said that exactly just like that
Twice?
twice in a row. It was like
Hey.
deja vu.
Sometimes things
Deja
need
vu is that thing where, you've experienced this thing before. You know what Vuja Day is?
when you experience the backwards of something.
When you when you know you've never been here before.
Oh, when you know you've never. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. I've experienced this, but in reverse before.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, instead of the ball
And
hitting me in the
backwards.
face, my face expelled the ball outwards towards someone's hand. Which actually happens both times. I mean, because after it hits your face, it goes out of your
It
face.
kind of does
Yeah,
bounces a
what?
little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah. Newton's law and stuff.
Yeah.
Third law, I think.
I don't have any idea.
I don't know. For every action is an equal and opposite reaction. I don't know if anyone knows which Newton's law that is. Feel free to science us.
Yes,
Educate
please.
us.
That would be great.
Could be second law.
Could be. Newton had a few laws.
He did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, yeah. So we're just here. We want to be your friend. We want to help in any way we can. And we love you guys. And this show is about you guys. We have to give a shout out to Princess. She's amazing. She is handling, she's our chat room hostess. She's also our record keeper extraordinaire, and she reads our topics. And she really actually kind of runs this show. I hit the on and off button now. But Princess kind of runs it. It's pretty cool.
There you go.
Everyone needs a princess.
Everybody needs a princess,
Yes.
including other princesses.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm gonna adjust my man. I
Man,
did
you are
not
just
make my
adjusting
adjustments.
everything.
I am, but you got to see this guy right here. See, I got to make sure that you see his tie.
That's right. I'm glad that you can see his tie.
Yeah. Plus, when I looked at the video, I was like, "You're much taller looking than me." I was like, "Hi."
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, "Do you know the Muffin Man?"
yeah. I know the Muffin Man.
Princesses are strongest in groups. Oh my. Look out. So
What if
anyway,
you have a group of princesses? That's a strong group.
I'm frightened.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So at any rate, I think I got through all the legal disclaimer stuff.
Yeah.
But how are you doing, Ryan?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. How's everybody here in the chat doing? Green fire. Your avatar there like totally sticks out in the chat because it's that big bright green flame.
Yeah, it really does
It's
actually.
like,
Because everybody else's is a circle and yours doesn't look like a circle on mine.
uh-huh.
It looks like a bright green flame. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
guys
hey
look
guys.
amazing.
Nice to see you guys.
Mm-hmm. So what do you say? Should we start this show?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get
All
into
right.
it.
You know what? Let me get my spreadsheet up. I didn't even
I
have that
do
up. Man,
I
oh
do have a
man,
new friend
I
with
am
me.
just behind.
If anyone has noticed her.
Oh
But
yes,
you'll hear more on her later. She's not out yet.
you will.
She's
That
not.
actually, yeah,
It's a spoiler.
that is the spoiler. The
Mhm.
spoiler of 2021. Haha. Yes, it's gonna be good. We
Mhm.
just I think we just put in the order, did we not?
Yeah.
That was the prototype.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we went back and forth with the plushie company. It's not like she wants you to notice or anything. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was pretty cool, and it just got ordered, so we should have those in the next month or two. Actually, no, everything's taking longer now.
Yeah, and especially because the manufacturer is actually based in China, so
Mm-hmm.
it'll
Yep.
take a while.
So I think they said something like 5 weeks for production and then 6 weeks for shipping.
That's right. So it'll be a couple months, but she'll be here eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of blurry, but that's all right. There.
She looks awesome.
Little Miss is covered. There.
You've
Not.
got a great collection of plushies. I want one.
Yeah?
Yep.
Which one?
The cool thing is which one? I'm gonna have my pick of all of them.
Oh, okay. I'll be at your house tomorrow then, I guess. With all my plushies.
Okay.
Well, that was my test. Apparently, you actually don't want them. Well, dang.
No, I was talking about the tsundere girl,
Oh, I thought.
not your plushies. Psh,
Ah,
you
dang.
can
What the heck,
keep
man?
your plushies.
Wow.
But since I'm the shipping department, just like probably like 50 feet from me is where they will all be.
Yeah. Hey, box plushie for sure. I think everyone wants one of those.
I think so too. And I think we're gonna have to. That's probably next on the list.
That's the next plushie on the list, yeah.
Yep. Yep. So, but it's not like I like you. It was such an amazing
Oh yeah.
phenomena. We're like,
Hmm.
we ought to do something for that too. So that's what came next.
Especially with, and it's not like I like you too, coming.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yes, that is on its way as well. So, also, all of you guys who auditioned for season 2 of Criminal Idol, man,
jeez,
thank you.
so much talent. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
You're
Whoever.
you're making it very difficult because like there are so few that well, all of them are better than what I could do. So I'm like, man, they're awesome. And so it's just amazing. But I think we had over 600 people.
Yes, 600 people audition, and many of them did like an average of 4 different characters that they
Mm-hmm.
tried out for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you guys, man, the call went out from the Static P YouTube and on Discord and everything, and you guys answered
So for
resoundingly.
2040 auditions.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Or sorry. Yeah, I think that's
600 times 4, yeah.
Yeah, 2,400 auditions, and each of them's like 30 seconds long. That's so much time.
Yep. You guys are
So
amazing.
we're cranking through them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So anyway, and I'm not sure how we're gonna let everybody know. We'll let you know when we figure out what we're gonna know. But sooner or later we'll know and you'll know.
Yep.
But it's gonna be
But
good.
yeah, let's do the show.
I think that's a great idea. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through our list of people here, and we will. If you're here, then let us know. Sevlev, SK, Awkward, Pika, Jesse, Khan Vulcan, Amira, Random, Cat Jat, Ian Lamb, Saula, and Baka. And Saula and Baka, I see you. We've also had a few anonymous ones come in. I think one of the anonymous people is here. I'm quite sure. When I look at the list. So anyway, but I think first on the list comes Saula's. So we should probably start with that one, hey?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. What's up with your mom and dad? Ha
Yo, what's up with your mom and dad?
ha!
Hey, thanks for bringing it back, buddy.
That's right. That's
Hey, what's up
awesome.
with your mom and dad?
What's up with your mom and dad? Nice. And hey, we got a link and everything. Look at that. You can go ahead and click that link. Takes you right to the topic, and you can read along with Princess.
Hi. So, this is a topic that I've been planning on posting since November. It's not very time sensitive since it's not associated with any particular event. Anyways, I have noticed that something about myself is that I'm not particularly fond of. It's not a particular problem per se, but it does cause some problems on occasion. I have a tendency to focus on the negatives of a thing, event, or idea rather than the positives. It's not a particular problem because I usually don't take these negatives to heart. I just instead use them to understand differences and benefits/deficits between options. So that's not the problem. No, where the problem comes in is when I try to communicate how things can be improved to people, or when I'm trying to explain that one thing is better at this particular thing than the other. For example, explaining why I would like to change the coilovers on my car. The stock coils are fine for being comfortable, but I would like something more sporty feeling. I guess I would typically go about saying this as the stock suspension is not particularly stiff. It does not communicate the grip levels well. Hence, an improvement can be made. Well, most people take that as me being unhappy with my car as a whole, and otherwise, why would I point out its problems? I guess I just think that everything is having problems, and I just want to pick the problems I want to deal with. I know, for instance, that there are many sets of upgrade coilovers for my car. Then I can trade the softness and lack of feedback for harshness with plenty of feedback. Harshness is the problem that was solved by the stock set, but it introduced the lack of feel problem. It's rather to have the feel and then have to deal with the negative harshness. Anyway, that's just one example. I focus on the negatives, and I try to pick at least the least negative negatives to deal with. It's only particularly problematic when I'm trying to communicate different options to people or when I'm examining the negatives with myself, finding no solution. So I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on how I could communicate things in a more positive way, despite my understanding coming from the negatives? Or potentially a way to focus on the positives more instead of the negatives? Thanks for any suggestions/help that you can give. P.S. Have any of you read Toysly, The Death of Ivan Illich? I apologize that I butchered that. It deals with how focusing on positive or negative aspects of your life can make you temporarily happy or sad, but it can't give you real joy. Good book, but Tolstoy did not have the answer to true joy. From Saule.
Wow, thank you for the topic. And
Yeah.
Princess, thank you for reading. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting one. I can totally relate with this because I am that type of a person as well. Where wow, how did the topic already get in there?
What?
I didn't think I clicked on it yet. Oh, maybe I did. Okay. Wow, sorry. Phew. I was like, who's producing this show? Anyway, no, thank you. This is definitely one of those things because when, for people who see problems and issues, you kind of have to focus on the negatives in order to fix the problem, right? So there has to be some attention given to the negatives. But then it's like, okay, how do we not dwell there, or how do we come across as, taking that negative and turning it into a positive? And that, there is some art in that. Ryan is tremendous at this, which is why I'm really glad he's going first, because, I can talk to him and be like, oh man, we got all these issues, and he'll just be like, oh man, well, it's just like this. And I'm like, oh yeah. Thanks.
Thanks.
And then I smile and I walk away and I'm happy. But it's not truly joyful, much like you said,
Yeah.
positives and negatives. Yes, true joy can occur whether you're being positive or negative, or whether you're feeling positive or negative. You can be joyful in all those instances, and that's a different topic. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and let him have a go at it. So Ryan, take it away.
All right. Hey, thanks. Thanks for the compliment, Joe, and I appreciate that. And yeah, this is a great topic. Honestly, Sola, I think that it's amazing that you even bring this topic to us, because I've seen and encountered plenty of people who live their entire lives with just the onset of this is negative, this is negative, this is negative, and they just pour it all over you. You know, they go to Taco Bell and instead of ordering food, they give you their negative order somehow, and you're like, how did you just make? How did you order food with being entirely negative? Like, are you not happy you're getting food? Like, what's going on? There are people who this is their negative, their normal mode, right? And they never ask how they can better communicate with other people. They never even seem to contemplate that sort of thing. So the fact that you ask is huge to me. I think that's super awesome. So I think there's a lot of ways that you can improve in this, right? But a lot of it just comes down to how you speak. You know, because looking at negative things is a good thing. Because allowing yourself to see the negative is what allows you to come up with the solution. Because if you say, oh, there's no problem, there's no problem, there's no problem, eventually you're just going to get covered by all the problems and it's going to be miserable. But the fact that you can see the problem, you can identify it, and you can immediately look for a solution, I think that's fantastic. It's a good trait. I think a lot of people, when you're negative, people say like, oh, you're supposed to be positive all the time. And that's, I mean, it's good to be positive. It's good to be able to see the positive, but it's just as good to be able to see the negative, right? Because you have to be able to see both. Both are a part of reality. And to be blind to either of them is a deficit, right? So it's good that you can see the negatives, and it's good if you can see the positives as well. So here's the thing. When you are going to someone, right, like for example, with your car, your suspension and so on, you can point out a problem, right? You can say, well, I don't like this as much. When you're talking to the mechanic, right, you can spin this into a positive just by adding a few words or changing a few words. Like for example, hey, all of this is terrible and I want to change it. And that's why I'm coming to you, because you guys know what you're doing. That line, just that makes the whole thing positive. Because I didn't even address all the negative stuff. I didn't try to take the negative stuff and turn it into a positive. The only thing I did was add a positive statement on the end that reassured the person I was talking to that they're an awesome individual. So I just like, hey, all of this stuff with my car is wrong and I want it fixed. And I'm coming to you because you guys know what you're doing. And I've had experience with you guys before and so on, right? Now you point out the negative problems, but you've put a twist on it that makes the person on the other side of that feel great. So sometimes it's not about necessarily finding out how to say something that's negative in a positive way. It's just making sure that your attitude is noticeably positive at the end of it. You can list off all of the complaints and be like, and that's why I'm looking forward to the future, because the future is going to be awesome. You know, you can't get anywhere great without suffering first. That's just what you got to go through, you know? And so you can turn any kind of negative into a positive with that sort of mentality. You just have to make sure that that mentality is audibly spoken, right? So that other people know that your intention is for the good. So you can list off a bunch of negative complaints and so on, but if you make sure everybody knows that your intention is for a positive end, then your negative things that you list off suddenly take on a positive light, because your intention is to improve.
Hmm.
I can say, like, hey, I've got this thing I'd really like to change because I'm looking for the best. I'm looking for the best quality I can get. So I'm willing to give up some things, It changes the way that everything appears, right? And I would say another thing is the classic, is the classic preemptive disclosure. You start with a disclosure before you start anything, before you say any of your sentences. Just say, hey, full disclosure, I don't intend to be negative. I'm just going to list off a bunch of negative things. My intention is ultimately to do something great, and I think we can do that. But so I'm going to have to go through this list, and I don't want to come off as sounding like super negative and all that kind of stuff. So hear me out. And then you say everything, right? That you need to say that's negative. And having that disclosure just makes everything okay. There are so many times where I've entered in a relationship on shaky water, or I've had to come to somebody with really tough news. And just having that disclosure at the front just changes everything. There are many times where it's like, I'm about to say something as a compliment, but it might offend this person because they might think that I'm mocking them or something. So in front of my sentence, I'll put a disclosure and I'll say, hey, I have no intention of mocking you, and I'm being extremely legit. I love your shoes. They are awesome. Where did you get them? Just putting that disclosure in front changes so much in the way people interpret what you're trying to say. So that allows you to take your negative statements and turn them towards a positive light without actually having to necessarily have a positive view on any of it. And you do want to have a positive view, right? And I think most of that is reaped from looking at things beyond their current state, right? If you can look at something and go, in the future, this is going to be even better, or something like that, right? Then you're gaining a positive. In fact, you can look at the negative and glean that as a positive, like I did at the beginning. It's important to be able to see both the negative and the positive. The negative allows you to see the problems so that you can find a solution to help make life even better, right? So that's a positive way to look at negativity. And it's like, how that seems like it would be weird. Like, how can you people do it the opposite all the time. People find negative ways of looking at positive. Like, oh, look at him. He's so happy. Oh my gosh, I wish I was that happy. It's like, dude, you can shut up. Stop trying to stop getting negative over people's positivity. Like, you should be positive about both if you can. So anyhow, I think that, that's where I'm gonna stop and give it over to Joe and see what he's got to say about the topic. Hopefully all that made sense.
Well, I love what you were talking about, Ryan. It's, one of the things that comes to mind is any event can be seen in positive or negative light. Because when we look at something that's negative, the world will see it as negative, or maybe we even will see it as negative. Most of the time, that's an opportunity. You look at the issue with the coils on your car, right? For to use your example, Saula. And what that does is that's an opportunity for you to improve your car, right? I think you even mentioned it in the thing, where yes, where things can be improved, right? And so then the way then is, all right, how then can I shape the way I say things, or even the way I think about things, in order to reflect something positive instead of negative, right? So it's very interesting because a lot of times I know you a little bit because I've talked to you in the chat when we were doing Double Cup of Joe show. You were there a lot of the time too, and and on this show, and so I've interacted with you, so I know a little bit about you, and I know a little bit about what you're pursuing. I think if I remember correctly, you're in engineering, which is definitely a place where you're always looking for an improvement. You're always looking to take what's there and make it better, right? And so it's almost like you're looking for the problem. So your brain is kind of focused. It's like, okay, I need to find the place where there's a flaw so we can make it better. And that's a very valuable skill. Because some people just go through life and they're like, hey man, everything's awesome. And then a bunch of bad stuff happens and their like world falls apart and they're like, oh, hey, whatever. And it's like, you're a mess. But then, but people who are looking for problems, that's why we have lines on the sides of roads. So we know not to drive off them. That's why we have stoplights and stop signs and stuff. It keeps people safe, right? That's why there's been so much innovation in technology and everything. People see a problem and they want to fix it. But you can take it and say, all right, do I see a problem or do I see a need? It reminds me of the movie Robots. If you ever saw that movie, it was an animated film, Robots. And one of the taglines in there was, see a need, fill a need. Right? So you see something in the world. You see a place where people are struggling. You see some kind of a challenge. And now, okay, I'm equipped to fill that need. So I guess now I have a duty to do that. That gives me a mission. That gives me a sense of purpose. It gives, so in reality, this train of thought can be very invigorating if you approach it properly, right? If we approach it and we're looking at just like, oh, this is just bad, this is bad, this is bad, we need to fix it, then it's easy to get kind of a negative slant on things and just be and then eventually over time you just kind of turn into this crotchety, humdrum, whatever type of person, right? Or you can see it as a chance. You can see it as opportunity. You see it as a chance to do something good, a chance to make an improvement, a chance to make something better. And then when you accomplish that and you do make it better, and then you're kind of like, oh man, remember how those coils used to feel? Now I got these new ones on my car. That's way better now. I can feel the road. I know what it's going to do. I know, I see now I'm probably falling the other camp where I am less interested in feeling the harshness and more interested in riding on like a pillow, right? If I had a car that felt like a hovercraft, that would be my favorite.
I just kind of imagine you're going in a car and you hit the brakes and you're just like, and that's because that's how a hover car would stop. It would feel like you're on a boat, man. It would be awful.
Yeah, that's probably true. Never mind.
But I get what you're saying.
I remember riding in the first time I ever rode in a Cadillac. I had never ridden in a Cadillac before, and my boss's boss had a Cadillac, and this was a very interesting situation. I was working at a music store, right? And he was the general manager of the company, and he lived in a house that was near the river, and there were ice jams happening on the river. It was springtime, and so there was melting, and there were ice jams and everything like that. And his wife was calling him, and she's like, yeah, the water's rising. We're going to need to move everything out of the basement or out of the lower level, right? And he's like, he grabbed me and he grabbed a couple other guys. He's like, we're going to my house. We got to move the furniture right now. And we got there, and sure enough, the water's creeping in, under the door. And so like all this stuff, and we're like, all right. He's like, get that first, get that. He's like having us prioritize the most valuable, pieces of furniture first and move those. And it was quite an adventure, but I'll never forget the ride over there because he had a Cadillac. And it seriously felt like riding on a pillow. First of all, it's like, the seat itself is a pillow, right? And so you're like seated way down in this. It's so comfy. And then he's driving like really fast, because he wants to get there. And we're just gliding. It was beautiful. And I'm like, man, this is a nice riding car. And he looks back at me and he's like, yeah, you can get in a lot of trouble with this car.
Nice.
Because you don't even really
It
know.
doesn't feel like you're going fast when you're going fast.
Right, yeah. So it was cool. But, all of that would never have been possible without people looking at something that could be fixed, tweaking it, and making it better. And then we all get to reap the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a beautiful thing. So really, it just kind of, it can, I'm not sure necessarily how to make the switch, but it starts with understanding that there is every negative thing that happens, there's a positive way to look at it. Just like every positive thing that happens, there's a negative way to look at it. So the guy, like the guy who went fishing with his buddy, and they had his dog, right? And he had the most amazing dog. And he's like, man, I got the most amazing dog. You should see my dog. Check this out, man. And so, actually, no, they didn't go fishing. They were duck hunting, right? I was wrong.
With fishing poles. Can you adapt that
duck
to the story?
hunting with fishing poles. So he threw his fishing pole at a duck and it killed it. And he's like, watch this. And so now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have my dog go get the duck. And his dog ran across the top of the water, grabbed the duck, ran across the top of the water back, and got in the boat. Didn't get anything wet or anything, right? And the guy's friend was just like, huh. And he was like, didn't you see that? He's like, yeah. So, time went on and they got another one and he sent the dog out. The dog ran across the top of the water, grabbed the duck, ran across the top of the water, brought it back. No water in the boat, nothing. The guy's like, what do you think about that? He's like, I noticed your dog can't swim.
Wow. He's going to punch the dude. That's great.
So it's really, really true. I
got bite marks on my duck.
Right.
Now it's got dog spit in it. I'm not going to eat that.
Yeah.
It's wasted duck. Well, you should just reel it in with your line.
That's right. Since we're fishing for ducks over here.
Yeah.
But, mankind's brain is powerful. It can make a heaven out of hell and a hell out of heaven. And I don't remember who said that quote, but it's absolutely true. So when you're looking at things and when you're looking at these problems that need to be fixed, make it a little exercise. How can I look at the good side of this thing? I know there's a good side to this. What is that? And then you can start getting creative and it can be kind of fun and everything like that. So anyway, I've talked for a while. I'm going to turn it back over to Ryan. So Ryan?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot else to add on to that. I think that about covers it. I think that, I'm supposed to pin topics. Sorry, I'm late on that. I didn't notice it.
You can't.
Okay. All right. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Saul. Yeah, like I said, I don't really have a whole lot more to say. I think that, just like Joe said, you can make a positive out of any negative or negative out of any positive. I think the key is to understand that, hey, this negative is a positive. And so whenever you face something that is a negative, just immediately go, okay, what's the positive draw out of this? Or you look at it and you go, hey, what's the solution? There's so many people in the world who are constantly finding problems and so few who are looking for the solutions.
Mm-hmm.
It's true in everything. It's true in medicine and research and all that kind of stuff. There's so many people who notice problems, but so few who actually look for a solution. And that's a shame, but it's also like, hey, there's a matter of skill level. But still, looking for a solution, part of that is giving doctors information. Like, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I noticed worked for me, and it might not have anything to do with the solution. But coming out and trying to help helps. You know, in everything. There are so many people who complain about all sorts of different stuff. If you can be someone who looks at it and goes, yeah, but what's the solution? Let's start working on that. And make sure that you are not bossy, but positive in the way that you speak to people. And I think that's the approach that you can take.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that gives some guidance, and I hope that encourages you to improve in the area.
Mm-hmm. Here's one thing to remember. Stick this in the back of your mind, Sola, because if you're an engineering type, if you're, a detail-oriented, engineering type, looking for problems, looking for solutions, one thing about that type of a personality that's attracted to that, you have a lot of wit. You naturally can be funny because you can say things, humor generally happens when you say something unexpected, right? You're going down this one path and then all of a sudden you do something unexpected. You say something different than what everybody thinks you're going to say. And that's funny, right? That's right. A lot of times what happens. Like the joke I made about the dog. Nobody, unless you'd heard that before, you weren't expecting me to say the dog can't swim, right? But you have that. And so you can take those negative experiences, right? And those negative moments like that, and you can turn them into humorous ones. You have the wit to be able to do that. And so sometimes it just takes, searching a little bit inside us and dusting that, trait off, a little bit. But yeah, if you can learn to notice things, and your mind is going to be quick and sharp. And so you'll be able to come up with some funny way to spin it. It just takes some practice, and you'll be great. And then, yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean, there are many times where I've been in situations where it's like a negative situation and I'm talking to someone behind a counter or whatever, like, something terrible happens. And I come in with a positive attitude anyways. And I explain the situation, and then they make a remark, and then I make it a joke,
Mm-hmm.
And making things fun and funny really just lightens the mood. Even if you've got something to complain about, even if you've got something really negative that you're dealing with, being able to add humor to it takes away so much of the tension that is unnecessary anyways. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. So anyway, you can do it.
Yes.
And thank you for the topic. Hopefully we did it justice for you. And also thank you guys for your patience while there was no current topic in the current topic screen area thing, and I was trying to figure out how to take care of that. I finally did it. So,
now the topic's over. Perfect.
It's up there. Yeah. So, anyway, hopefully we'll have it on there for the next one. So, what do you think? You want to move on, Ryan?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I think that's a good plan. So, let's take a look and see who's here. I don't know. Let's see. We might move on. I'll just go through the list. Sevlev, SK, Awkward, Pika, Jesse, Khan Vulcan, Amira, Random, Cat Jat, Ian Lamb, and Baka. And we also have anonymous ones as well. We might do one of the anonymous ones. I can't remember. I know I've seen one of the anonymous ones in here. I've seen one of you in the chat, and I'm not going to tell people your name. I haven't seen you for a while. But anyway. Baka, yes, Box is here. Baka, you're the champion of the Box plushie.
Oh,
I must say. You're making sure that we always remember, hey, box plushie,
box plushie. Remember?
box
Hey,
plushie.
you got to do
Mhm.
that. Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you for reminding us we appreciate it. It helps.
Yes.
It actually does.
Um. So yes. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Excellent. So yeah. Well, let's do Bacchus next, and then we'll see if the anonymous, if you want to shoot me, if you send us a message on through the email, and you want to send me a message in Discord, or you can also send another email. I'll keep an eye on that too while we're going through this topic. Let us know you're here. That would be great. So, but at any rate, let's move on to Bacchus for right now. Let's see. Let's get
Actually, random just showed up.
Oh yeah, they did.
Whoa, random just showed up. Man, oh man, Baka. Hey, random's had a topic here since November. 2 of them actually.
2 of them, one from November, one in December. Random
Whoa.
is so hard to get a hold of because they're busy and they're in a different time zone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, so maybe we ought to do one of randoms here, actually. Sorry, Baka. But we will get to yours for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, random, would you prefer the conversation skills one or the gift to the world topic? Which one would you prefer? And while we wait, Ryan, which would you prefer?
Yes.
Pancakes or waffles?
Oh. You already know I like waffles better.
Yeah, but I just like to hear you say it.
Yeah, but I would like French toast waffles.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Or just French toast. I'm a big fan of French toast.
Pancakes, man. It's the pancakes. Pancakes? Wow.
That's okay if people like pancakes.
Yeah, that's true. Both are nice. You're absolutely right, Riku.
Yeah, both are good things. I'm glad they exist. You know, sometimes I'll tell you what, I really like crepes, and crepes are kind of like pancakes.
They are. They're like really thin pancakes, little teeny tiny ones. Random, Baka, you guys are so amazing. This just speaks to the love and, sacrifice of our community. Baka says do theirs. Random says do Baka's first.
I thought you were referring to the pancakes versus waffles thing, the love and the sacrifice.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna make the executive decision. Waffles.
Wow, that was
and and we're gonna do the first one, conversation skills.
Okay.
Since that one comes first.
Sounds great. Oh, that's that's right along with our last topic. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we've got a link there. I have clicked it. I have clicked the link from Princess, and now I'm reposting it just to verify that it's good. It's a good link. Totally. So, you can click that and read along. What?
Random says, actually, I can't immediately participate in the stream. Second, please.
Wait, what? What does that mean? I
think they want to go second, aka third, or they want a second before they can participate. Want us to wait? Do you want us to wait 1 second? Oh, well, 1 second's already over. So.
Or was it that you want us to have? Yeah, your 1 second.
Or did you want to go after?
Oh my gosh! See, my executive decision. Hero, you're right. Anybody can veto.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Oh, second topic. All right.
Okay.
All right, we'll do the second one. So that link, don't click that link. It's a bad link.
They also want to go after.
After.
They want to be the second topic. They don't want us to do their second topic.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh.
Do
all
their
right.
first
So
topic
yes. So
second.
let's do Baka's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making an executive decision.
We're gonna do waffles. That's it. Wow. Again,
And bacchus.
even after you were vetoed, huh? Okay. Hey, you can continue to make the executive decision as many times as you want, whenever you want.
I can.
Even after it's repressed. You know?
No, you're fine, random. We're just gonna make it a fun time. But it is a lot of executive decisions, man. I must be an American. I don't know, something weird about that. But yep. My head hurts. Oh yes. All right. So let's see. Let's get. Oh my gosh! Now my other chat's all messed up. Thank you, Princess. All right, so click Princess's link there, and we've got, it's called Fading Image from Baka. And yeah, you can click that link and read along while Princess reads it for us. So Princess, go right ahead.
I am no stranger to my weight. I never liked my weight, but recently the image is fading. The past few months I have started growing to have my physical image. I want to lose weight, and I've taken steps like I've stopped drinking Mountain Dew, and this helps. I just can't find the time of day to exercise other than my PE class. My grades have fallen greatly, and now I seem to never know when I'll have time to exercise. My hatred towards my physical image is getting worse. Some days I choose to eat almost nothing, and others I know I eat too much. I want to lose weight, but I have no clue how to start. From Baka.
That is a great question, and I have experience here as well. If you saw me like 5 years ago, you'd see a much rounder version of what you see today. And I'm still not where I want to be, but you know, I'm a work in progress, as all of us are. And that's one of the things. I mean, if before I turn it over to Ryan, whatever you decide to do to move in this direction, it takes time and it takes consistency. And I know nobody wants to hear that, but you know, it's literally true. Because it really is about, you know, just a lifestyle change. And when we understand that and then just work with it, then we start moving in the right direction. And you just, at that point in time, you can celebrate your improvements and your steps along the way. And it can get pretty fun and exciting. So, but I'm going to turn it over to Ryan and hear what he has to say. So, Ryan?
Yeah, this is a great topic for not me, because I was born perfect with a perfect image.
Perfect.
So
perfect self-image and everything too, right?
yeah, she's the most beautiful man alive. All right, thanks, Joe. Your turn. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. First of all, I was not. I grew up not liking how I looked at all either. And I eventually got over that when it was a compilation of a lot of things, really. When I started to improve my self-image just by how I started acting or changed how I was acting and so on, getting outside my comfort zone and that sort of thing, that really helped a lot. But also noticing, you know, I've complimented other people and people have complimented me on my image before. And I realized all of my compliments to other people were sincere. So isn't it right that shouldn't I take when other people compliment me sincerely? Like if someone says that I'm cute, I should be like, okay, I believe that they believe that about me. So instead of trying to fight it and be like, oh, that's not true, oh, I'm ugly, blah, 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 I should just say, well, then it's true. If someone believes that it's true, then it has to be true, because otherwise someone wouldn't say that, you know? Even if it's my mom, right? Even if, you know, that's the person who says it, it doesn't matter. I have to understand my compliments are sincere. So if someone compliments me, I should honor that. I should respect them enough to understand they're being sincere, and I shouldn't fight it. And I should just believe what they have to say about it. I think that's important. I think that helped me because we all wish we looked different. We all want to be better, right? It's a natural human thing to want to look better,
Mhm.
to be better, to be stronger, to be wiser, to be anything that could be better. We want it, right? And we want it to be a natural part of ourselves. Some things we can work for and get better at. Some things are just inherent, you know? And so when there's things that we can't do anything much about, sometimes we just have to accept that that's how they are and just, okay, that's what it is. You know, some of it's opinion based. Some people will think, oh, that looks super good. Some people will say, oh, that looks super bad, you know? Um, and ultimately, when I kind of got over myself, like I remember it was some old dude and he was like 80 and I can't remember, he said something like, I'm 80 I'm 80, wow, I'm 80 years old. No one's looking at me for my good looks. I don't care about that. And when you're 80, you're going to think the same thing. Who cares? You know, who cares what I look like? I'm 80 years old. I'm not trying to like get in a relationship with anybody. I'm not like what the heck, you know? And it made me think about that. And I'm just like, yeah, you know what? One day I'll be 82 and I'm going to look as horrible as ever. So,
You
you
will
know
be
what?
82.
Well, we'll see if I get there.
The year
Yeah,
after you get to
I might
80,
be dead
the
and
year after
82.
81.
Oh, is that when it happens?
It happens. 82 happens right after 81.
Thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
I have so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, I am what I am. Just accept it, accept reality for what it is, right? And then just go, reality is a good thing. It is what it is because it's supposed to be. It looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I should just have to accept it. The fact is, I will always want for something better. But that's part of being human, and that's okay. We can accept where we are right now, and I think that's the most important thing, right? We have to, I mean, I've said it many times, but we have to hold a bar high on ourselves, right?
Mhm.
That's so that we can improve, so we can reach for things. But we have to love ourselves above the bar. Because if you don't love yourself above that bar, you'll never reach it. You'll never even reach towards the bar. You have to love yourself enough to and respect yourself enough to kind of give that effort towards that bar. Otherwise, you don't. And by love yourself, it just means to desire the best for yourself and to appreciate what you have. You know, you should be thankful for what you have rather than upset for what you don't. To be upset for what you don't have is instead of thankful for what you have, because there are times when we're upset for what we don't have, and that's fine. It's like, I don't have a good economy. I don't have good finances, right? That's okay to be upset about that because that's something you can change and you should start working towards that. It's something that ticks off in your head. You're like, oh, there's a problem here. Right, let's go after, let's go after better finances. Let's start working on our spending. Let's make a budget and things like that. That's great. But there are things where we forget to be thankful for what we have, including finances. You know, it's like I should be thankful at the same time as I'm like, man, I need to improve my finances. I should also be in the spirit of I am thankful for what finances I have, that I'm able to get by, that I have something to work with, that maybe I have a job, or maybe I have family that's been supporting me, or maybe I have nothing, and I should be thankful that I have nothing. Why? That sounds so weird and bizarre, right? But to be thankful, you don't have anything. Because when you are at the lowest of lows, first of all, you can be thankful that you exist, but thankful that you have so much more to achieve, that you can climb, but also, most importantly, thankful for where you are right now. Because this moment is very important. Very important. If you have nothing, that's one of your most important moments. Because it's like you have gotten rid of all of the vain, pointless stuff out of your life. You're at ground zero. You're at the roots. You've got no finances, you know, and that's where you are. Be thankful, be glad. You don't have to put up all that bull outside of it, like all that vanity, right? Because you don't need all of it. And you look at you're alive and you have no finances and you're alive. How is that possible? Because we don't survive off of money because we don't eat money. You know, uh, it's incredible, and we should be that way about our looks too. Even if you don't like the way you look, you need to appreciate that you exist. You need to appreciate what you've been given. And I'll tell you what, there are plenty of people out there who think that you're attractive. You have attractive features, attractive traits, and some of those you can change, like your size, right? Your physical weight, and you can start working on that. Your muscles, your muscle size, your muscle tone, things like that. You can work on that, right? And you should. But be thankful for where you are right now, because if you're not thankful, it's going to be hard to find the energy to work consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time you look in the mirror, you're going to see something you don't like. And it's going to deter you. It's going to make you go like, why am I even trying? Why was I trying in the first place? That's how you're going to feel. And then some days you're going to be like, man, it looks so ugly. I need to try right now. You know, and some days you're just going to look at it and be like, why am I even trying? But you need to look at yourself and love that person. Appreciate that person. Because that creates, how should I say it, the self-confidence and the courage and the self-worth, or I think that kind of creates the self-worth of being able to go like, you know what, I can do this, and I can do it on a consistent basis, and watch me.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that in me. I am capable, and I will show you, and I'm going to do it right now. Because if you can establish that self-worth, that the fact that you are awesome and incredible, and you are, Baka Breaker, we've gotten to spend, I was making sure, I was like, wait a minute, this wasn't random students. I had to double check. We've gotten to spend time with you, and you're a fantastic individual. And so you have everything it takes to just hold strong on a commitment and follow it through. You know, that's who you are. You're capable of that. Easy. But I think that part of the root is just making sure that you like yourself regardless of how you look that day. Because that can change. That's going to change over time anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, there was one other point that I was kind of thinking about, but now it's escaped me. So I'm gonna come back to it after I hand it off to Joe. Maybe Joe will talk about it. So
maybe
I'm gonna give it to him.
I don't know what you were gonna talk about.
Yeah, me neither anymore.
But maybe.
Maybe he will.
Look out.
Well, Joe's got more experience with this than I do when it comes to losing weight. All I can do is help you try to understand your image is fine. It's okay the way it is. It's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I approve of wanting to increase, like, me too. Like, there are times where I look at myself and I go, you know what? I need to start working out more so I can get some muscles, so I can get some more tone. Because there's nothing wrong with wanting to be attractive. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be beautiful. Like, that's a part of nature of God. God is beauty. To desire that for yourself is good.
Mm-hmm.
But to understand that you were created in the image of God already makes you beautiful. And so what you are right now is beautiful as it is. And I think that's important too. So anyways, with that, I'm going to give it over to Joe.
Mm-hmm. It can be hard. It's a really interesting thing, and I love that Ryan started with what he just talked about, because it truly is one of those things where, you know, it turns into this downward spiral where we look at ourselves and we're like, oh my gosh, you know, I don't like what I see there, and so that makes us feel bad about it, and then so we get a little bit worse, and then eventually it kind of turns into this spiraling thing. Well, no, I don't feel like doing anything. It doesn't matter anyway because I'm not important enough anyway. You know, I'm just not even worth it anyway. And so then it just kind of goes down and down and down. So But the truth of the matter is things can get turned around. They just never get turned around as fast as we would like them to. Right? And, but that's just the nature of things. People ask me, how do you get to be a good drummer? Because that's something that, I know a thing or two about. And I'm like, you practice and
You drum.
play, a lot. Consistently, like every day. Like every day. You want to be good. You play all the time. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to spend all day playing, but there's a consistency thing. Like there was a guy who taught himself to sing in 15 minutes per day. He just made himself do it in 15 minutes per day. I'm working on lyric writing right now. And so I take 10 minutes per day. I set a timer and I just work on writing words for 10 minutes. I just let my mind go write words, right? And that's just an exercise in getting me into the flow of writing words, so then I will be able to write lyrics better and faster. And for getting in shape, it's the same type of thing, right? There are two aspects, there's what we eat and what we do. And the old philosophy used to be eat less and move more. And that's not necessarily true. Because not all forms of exercise are good for losing weight. Some are good for gaining weight. Like it was interesting. I'm working on putting together a workout program right now, actually, because I have this goal. Like what I want to do is I want to create a whole bunch of workout videos to kind of impart the things I've learned from workout programs that I've bought. Now, I'm not plagiarizing, because you can't put a patent on a body weight exercise, right? But my whole goal was I want people to be able to get in shape and have it not cost them anything. Except for, their effort, right? Because gym memberships are expensive. Workout equipment is expensive. And so if I could come up with some kind of program where you didn't have to buy any equipment, and you didn't have to pay any money for it, I think that would be really cool. And you know what? Some guy beat me to the punch. I came across a YouTube channel this week called Hybrid Calisthenics. HYBRID Calisthenics. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just put a link to his channel. How about that? That'd be the best thing to do, because I'm not gonna try and spell out calisthenics. But anyway, he has a bunch of stuff. He's got stuff for beginners, stuff like if you've not worked out ever before, he starts at the very basic level of things, like the stuff that is gonna get you because if you can't do a push-up yet, you need to have an option, right? And that's okay. We start where we are and we move forward from there. So I want to encourage you, as take to heart what Ryan was just talking about, because it's so true. Like, you are worth it. You are worth taking care of yourself. Absolutely. And being healthy is a great way to do that. You will feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll be more positive. You'll feel more secure in hard situations, stuff like that. I mean, everything. And you can even go to his. I'll also give you the link to his website, too, hybridcalisthenics.com. But his whole goal was the same thing. He was like, I want to create a workout program where people can go and get in shape and have it not cost them money. And he's done it. He's done a whole bunch of this great stuff. Now, you're doing the right thing already by stopping the Mountain Dew. That is a step in the right direction.
That's huge. Yeah.
That is huge, because one of the things that's gonna I just recently learned this. We store fat due to higher insulin levels. Insulin is a hormone, right? It regulates our blood sugar and stuff, right? So when we have higher insulin levels at that point, whenever we have high insulin levels, That's when our body is in fat storage mode. When we have lower insulin levels, that's when our bodies are in fat burning mode, right? When we eat things that are sugary, insulin spikes. We automatically go into fat storage mode. And anything simple like, refined carbohydrates, white breads, bleached, anything with bleached flour, stuff like that, those things are going to cause higher insulin levels, which are going to then cause our body to switch into fat storage mode. If we eat more fats, which seems counterintuitive, but eating fats helps you to lose fat. It's the weirdest thing because you think, hey, if I eat fat, I'm going to store fat. But it's kind of the opposite. When like things that have fats in them, they cause our body to not produce insulin or to not release insulin. We don't have as much insulin in our blood at that point in time. And so we continue to stay in fat burning mode when we consume more fatty foods, which is very interesting. Now, I'm not necessarily saying greasy foods because you can deep fry anything, make it greasy, and it still might have like lots of breads and carbs and, sugars and stuff in there, right? But that, man, it's incredible. Now, as far as time, the greatest thing that I learned about getting in shape is it doesn't have to take a lot of time. I know there are people who spend a couple hours at the gym. I've seen Twitch streamers who are in the fitness, they're in the fitness area of Twitch, and they're on there for 3 hours doing stuff. And they're probably they're in great shape too. But, they've been doing this for, maybe they never really got out of shape. And so it's just kind of refining, there's all kinds of possibilities with this. But I've learned that some of the most effective exercises are like 15 to 20 minutes. And if you do the right things in those 15 to 20 minutes, then it puts your body into fat burning mode. And so you get the most bang for your buck with something called HIIT, or high intensity interval training. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm putting together with, and it's going to be on bss.studio once we get everything kind of finished and everything. And it'll be on YouTube too. But those workouts are going to be like 15 minutes. I think 21 minutes is like the longest things are going to be. And so it's perfect for people when we think, oh man, I just really don't have time to do this. And it's like, I understand. If you think that it's going to take you a couple hours a day, because that's how long a football practice is, or that's how long, a lot of people will spend at the gym or whatever, then it can be a deterrent. But I was like, man, when I learned that it was like 15 to 20 minutes, and once you get beyond that, it's not, it doesn't help you any further, right? Once you get past, I think about the 25-minute mark,
it's like diminutive returns until it's like almost nothing, no matter how much you work.
Yeah, it's not like it's bad for you. It doesn't harm you or anything. It just doesn't do any more. Like what you've already hit the line where it's done, right? And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, and if you want, you can let me know. We've got some preliminary stuff. I might be able to send you some links or something. But check out this guy, the Hybrid Calisthenics guy. He's got some stuff that's pretty short, and stuff that's at the very beginner level as well. So if you are kind of a stranger to exercise, or you haven't done it, or you don't know where to start, whatever, there's some great stuff. He's got home workouts for beginners, and it's all stuff that, it doesn't require any equipment, it doesn't require any memberships or anything. It's just completely free, and it doesn't take a long time. It's wonderful, and it'll get you started and moving in the right direction. Now, as far as results are concerned, what the biggest result you're gonna have in the beginning is how you feel, because you're gonna be like, hey, I accomplished something, I did something, and that's gonna make you feel good. Also, you're gonna you're gonna have increased oxygen intake from exercising. That's gonna make you feel better. There's gonna be this improvement, and then the next day your muscles are gonna be sore, and then you're gonna be like, oh, well, I just did that to myself. Dang it. So you're gonna feel it first, and you're not gonna see much along the lines of results. But, if you stay consistent, over the course of 8 months, if you stay consistent with, watching your sugar intake, I would eat very little sugar if possible, like very, very little, if at all. And, if you eat just, I pretty much eat like chicken, rice, and vegetables. And I have a weakness for chips, like corn chips, and I think I'm going to give those up for Lent.
Oh yeah.
Because they're good. But anyway, so more vegetables, more meats like chicken. Chicken is great. Pork is great. I eat beef too. But I have some other issues with beef, it seems like, so I kind of stick toward the lighter meats, it seems. But just be mindful when one of the things that we might get tempted into sometimes is we're like, hey, I'm gonna eat meat, it's gonna be great, and so we get this ham and it's covered in brown sugar. Which tastes really wonderful, but it kind of, it might, it might not be the best for whatever your goals are. So anyway, there are resources out there, and if you want, hit me up on Discord, and I can get you some more specific resources, and maybe we can do that. But if you check out this guy, the Hybrid Calisthenics guy, that'll get you busy enough to get started. And, it won't take very much time. It does not take very much time. It just takes a few minutes, and maybe not, and it's not even every day to start with. It's maybe only like 3 days a week for like 10, 15 minutes, and I'm sure you could find 10 or 15 minutes 3 days a week. I'm sure. It's just a matter of doing it at that point. So sounds to me like you might be ready to jump in. And so go ahead and jump in whenever you're ready. So anyway, Ryan, did you have more?
Yeah, I've got 2 things. Thanks so much for that, Joe. And it's really interesting. You work out for 15 minutes. No reason to do more than that anyways. Because you're just going to get such low returns on how much effort you're putting in. It's not worth it. So just spend your 15 minutes working hard and then call it quits. I think that's, 15 minutes isn't too bad isn't too tight to be able to fit into your schedule. And yeah, I'll say, oh yeah. Okay. So I've got 2 things. All right. First one is on, your weight. One thing that you probably should do is go to a doctor's and have them test you for why you have your weight. Because they're going to be able to tell you a lot better than we can what you're suffering from. There are many different reasons that we put on weight. Some of them are medical issues dealing with thyroids and well, you're not a female, but there are things specifically for females that they can put on weight where they're not supposed to. But I'm sure that there are things that apply to men as well. So I would talk to your doctor about that. See if there is something else other than food intake or exercise that could be causing issues, and heed what they have to say. They might tell you, you know what, your weight is completely natural, just cut down on these, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to have a direction for you to go in. But I think that would be one of the best things you could do, because you don't know if it is something like a medical issue where your processes inside of you aren't working quite right. and you could be working out as hard as you can and doing everything right, and some reason nothing's changing, and it's all because of one little issue. And so they might give you a prescription on something like that. I know that a couple of people who have taken prescription medicines that help them to get their body back into the right flow of things so they can reduce their weight and then get off the prescriptions. And so that might be the route you might need to take. But I don't know. I don't know what I don't know your chemical makeup, so I would address a doctor about that. I think that would be one of the smartest decisions you could make right here. And then the other thing was about eating. I want to remind you and everybody else that there was a period in time where 3 meals a day was quite eccentric, like weird. Like, you eat 3 meals a day? What do you like? First of all, how do you have that much food? Second of all, why? The Romans believed that 1 meal a day was perfect. And if you eat more than one, you're wasting yourself. The Jewish people at that time said 2 meals a day, but no one said 3. No one said 3 meals a day until the last 1,000 years. But we lived at least 5,000-6,000 years before that. And we weren't eating 3 meals a day. My point isn't to say stop eating. My point is, when you eat, sometimes you feel like you have to eat, but you don't have to, because your body has been trained to tell you when it's hungry, when it's not. That's a lot of us. A lot of us have been trained by our parents and stuff like that to eat when we shouldn't be eating. And so we have to kind of, for a time, tell our bodies, like, no, I don't have to eat. I only have to eat this amount per day based on the calories that I'm burning and what I have to do throughout the day. And this is the kind of substance that I need to eat during that day. You can retrain your body. Your body's not going to like it at first, but eventually your body will go, okay, I understand now. And it will start to pick up the new habit and stop being so hungry all the time. So when you're feeling hungry, recognize that's your body's, it's just the training program that your body's still on, that it doesn't need to be. So yeah, I would definitely look into that. I can't tell you what's the right amount. Doctors will give you all sorts of different answers. They will give you every sort of answer between, like, eat 3 a day, that's the recommended, or eat 15 times a day, that's the recommended, or eat 3 light meals, or eat 2 light meals and 1 big meal, or eat 1 big meal a day and that's it. There's all sorts of different crazy recommendations out there. All I'm saying is our body needs less than what we give it. A lot of times, let's say you wake up, one of the best things you could eat for the morning is some protein and some vegetables, lots of vegetables. Why? Because vegetables, they break down in our body, and as they do, they release slowly the sugars and the energy that we need throughout the day. So you wake up, you eat a salad. That's going to be awesome, right? 2 hours later, you have a snack. What happens? That salad, you just completely destroyed the purpose of it. Why? Because if you eat 2 hours, maybe even 4 hours, if you eat only 4 hours later after eating that salad, your body will immediately go, oh, we're getting new food. Okay, everything that we have, just flush it out. All right, gone. We're getting new stuff. And now you've ruined the whole point of eating that salad, because that salad's not going to continue breaking down anymore. It's going to go straight to the, to the parts of your body where it stops collecting that nutrients, because it's going to want to get rid of it to bring on the new stuff. So when you wake up and you eat something healthy, don't eat 2 hours later. I would say at least give it 4 hours, but maybe 6, I think that would be what I would recommend, but I'm not a doctor. But my point is the same. When you eat stuff, it goes through your intestines, right? And it sits there, digested. And your intestines are what absorb it. And that's where you get all your nutrients from. Generally, that's where you get most of your nutrients from.
Mhm.
When you eat again after, your body starts to just go, oh, we're getting new stuff, and it just starts to release everything. It stops collecting from your intestines. It starts to try to release it out the back end. All right. It prepares it for that process pretty quickly. You start eating because your brain knows that you just ate, and so it's going to run the process. So my point is, watch your eating habits. Try not to ruin your good breakfast with another meal coming after it. And you don't necessarily have to eat as much as your body is telling you to, because it's just trained to. It's got its habits, and you have to break it of it, But anyways, that was the last two things I had to say. Go to the doctors, see what they have to tell you. If there's an underlying problem that's medical that can be treated to help you get back on track and then get off the meds, that would be nice. Or maybe you don't have anything wrong with you at all, and that would be perfect, and you can just go on some kind of regimen like Joe was talking about. But yeah, that's what I got. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that does help. I had one other thing also, and that is you've heard people talk about, you shouldn't eat after 7. Have you ever heard that, Ryan?
Yeah, I never followed it.
Right. The reason that is because there's a timing thing with eating as well to think about. It's not just what we eat. I mean, that's important. The types of food you eat is important, but also when you eat. Like Ryan was just talking about, make sure you give your body time to process, and get the full nutrients out of what you've just eaten, right? And one of the things that you can that's not too hard to do, and I learned it actually makes a pretty big impact, is if you can have a 12-hour period each day where you don't eat. And that's why they would say don't eat after 7, because a lot of people on a normal daytime schedule, they wouldn't eat breakfast until 7 in the morning, right? So if you stop eating at 7 o'clock at night or before 7 o'clock at night, you have a 12-hour period where you don't eat anything, right, while you're sleeping and everything like that. And then you eat again 12 hours later. So if you can figure out how you're timing your eating and make sure that you have a 12-hour span, between your last meal in the evening or the afternoon or whenever, and then your first meal the next day, that alone will dip your insulin levels down to the point where you're in fat burning mode for a good chunk of time while you're sleeping. So you won't even really notice it. You won't feel hungry because you're sleeping, right? Which is pretty cool. So then, and then you can have, so then you have a 12-hour span where then you eat your meals. And, like Ryan was saying, there's all kinds of different philosophies. Some people that are training say, yep, you should go on the warrior diet, which is 1 meal a day, like the Romans, right? And then some people are like, nope, you need to eat, 7 times a day. You need to eat this, and then you need to eat a pre-workout snack, and then a post-workout snack, and then you need to eat your lunch, and then you need to eat another snack, and then you need to eat your dinner, and but you can fit all that in 12 hours, right? And then you have your 12 hours. That's a lot of eating, man.
Like, what am I supposed to do next? All right. I mean, I'm free. I have nothing to I don't have a job to be restricted by, and that would make it even harder for me.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And Anna, you're absolutely right. Also drink water. Your body will retain water. Yep. Drink water. And any juices and stuff like that, then you might as well drink pop. We talk, a lot of juices, it's pretty much sugar water.
Sugar.
Yeah. It's sugar without the fiber.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you eat an orange and you have all the fiber and stuff in there, right? The pulp and everything. I mean, that's how nature designed us to get that sugar intake, is along with the fiber. But we get rid of all that when we just drink orange juice, right? And then we just get the sugar without all the extra fiber that kind of mitigates the the sugar spike in our bloodstream. So Vanna says diet pop is good. Yep. And it's good for losing it's good for not having sugar. There are people that say the sweeteners have some interesting effects on us. Different sweeteners have different effects on us, aspartame or sucralose or whatever, but it's not like weight gain or anything. Gatorade can be good. Gatorade Zero is better because that doesn't have any sugar. Regular Gatorade, just check the sugar
Is that
content.
fake sugar?
Huh?
Does it have fake sugar?
Probably.
Hmm.
Probably.
I'd stay away from that stuff personally. I don't like that.
The fake sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. It's not going to make you gain weight so much, but it is going to cause other things, right?
Yeah.
It's a chemical
Try to stay
that
away from that stuff.
it's kind of a foreign chemical, right? So, anyway,
Stay away
there's
from fast food, like McDonald's. This is a
Mhm.
big deal, seriously.
Mhm. Yep,
But yeah.
it is. So anyway, Igor Voitenko has a great video about how to lose weight and what to eat and what to do and all that kind of stuff. He keeps it real simple.
Yeah.
No fast food, no wheat flour, no sugar. You eat proteins, healthy fats, and you drink water.
You didn't even mention vegetables, all right?
Oh yeah, vegetables. Sorry. I forgot that. Vegetables, proteins, and healthy fats.
And healthy milkshakes. And healthy butter.
Yes, exactly. Butter's pretty good.
Yeah.
Just if you eat too much of it, you might make yourself lactose intolerant. So just be careful.
How's that?
Eat only the world's blandest food. Magician Jester, you're awesome.
Honestly, healthy food is one of my favorites when it comes to taste, but most people don't do healthy foods correctly. You gotta, here's the thing. We have a whole spice drawer that is phenomenal on top of healthy foods, and spices are not unhealthy. They are healthy in themselves. They are what? Made out of leaves from plants or seeds from plants. They are healthy. So you should absolutely do a salad with all sorts of crazy seasonings on them. They're tasty. You can use teriyaki sauce. I mean, teriyaki sauce has sugar in it, right? But you can use soy sauce. So you could use teriyaki sauce without the sugar, and that's essentially soy sauce, fish oil, and like a tomato. I can't remember what teriyaki is exactly anymore, but anyways, soy sauce is great. All sorts of different stuff that tastes great and it's not unhealthy for you.
Mm-hmm. It's true. But anyway, you know, there's lots of different stuff. And the interesting thing about this is we're still learning. Even the experts are still learning. The things dietitians said years ago, they're going back on it now.
Yeah, they change every like 2 years. They're not even sure what to do with themselves.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, you know, my oldest son is in health class right now, and so they went through the whole MyPlate thing. And I don't want to denigrate MyPlate. We knew it as the food pyramid.
Oh, okay.
Back in our day, you know, now it's MyPlate. The thing you gotta understand though is like this information, and it's still pretty much the same. They're like, you know, lots of grains, and then a little bit of meat and very little fat, but mostly grains. You know, mostly stuff like that, right? And that's how you be healthy. And it's like, wait a minute, where does this information come from? It comes from the USDA. Like, huh, that's interesting. Who's the USDA? They're the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Oh, it's not the Council on Health or
That is kind of funny, huh?
or the CDC or the World Health Organization or the doctors panel or anything like that. It's the United States Department of Agriculture. Would they not for critical thinking? what's their job? Is their job to make us healthy, or is their job to protect the farmers?
It's to protect the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of throwback.
So
Man, that's interesting.
lots of grains. Grains are the highest profit item a farmer can have. You know, you get the most per acre, right? Yeah. So, hey, high profit, right? Interesting thing. So check your sources, you know, and like Ryan said, talk to your doctor, because we're not doctors.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's something going on in your body, you need to know about it first before you start any program. You know, you need to know about that so you know how to work with it, right? So anyway, I really appreciate it. What? Oh, number 19. What was that? I don't remember number 19.
Is this a Burger King thing?
Oh,
I don't know. Thank you so much for the topic, though, Baka Breaker.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sorry for giving it so much time. Hopefully, it was good and helpful.
Yeah, hopefully we didn't talk your ears off and stuff like that, but so, oh boy, who drank cow milk first? Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a good question. That is a great question.
Yep.
Why would you do that?
Well, there's cow milk. I saw a YouTuber, maybe it was a Twitch. I was on Twitch the other day, and I saw this person, like, they were live streaming IRL. They were milking goats. I was like, hey, somebody's got to milk the goats, right?
Yeah, someone's got to watch, apparently.
Yep. We just dated ourselves by not understanding Burger King foot lettuce. What is foot lettuce? You don't know I don't know foot lettuce either.
Is it? I remember a picture, but I think it was Taco Bell, where they had, or maybe it was Burger King. I don't know, where some dude was standing on lettuce with their shoes on. I don't remember.
Burger King foot lettuce. So, oh well, hey, maybe I'm gonna have to Google it at some point. Burger King foot lettuce.
Yes.
It's a meme. All right. Anyway, Baka, thank you so much. You're amazing, and just keep in mind, as you go through this journey, you know, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take effort and energy, and it's gonna be just fine. And you know what? If you need some support along the way, come and talk to us about it. You know, we'd be happy to encourage you, because yeah, being healthy is great, guys. It's wonderful. And it's not necessarily about being ripped or being stacked or having like this Greek god or goddess appearance, you know, like this whole big thing. It's just about being the best version of yourself. It's about feeling secure, you know, and when you're physically healthy, you are way more solid. Your self-esteem is higher. You know, that's why I talk about so many times when I'm talking about an issue with someone on this show, I'm like, you know, have you ever thought about trying to exercise some? Because what it does is it fixes a lot of our mental stuff when we do physical activity. So the more we move in that direction, even if we never get totally ripped and looking like a Hollywood star, we're going to feel way better. We're going to be able to do more. We're going to be able to keep up. We're going to have more energy throughout the day. And you'll just, yeah, it's a way better existence when you're healthy. So I'll tell you, it's amazing. But anyway, I'm not sure if we really have time to do a whole nother topic. It's like,
yeah,
only
we got
137.
Oh, was it? Did we start late?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Yep. We can do one more.
Okay.
All right.
The question is between random or an anonymous one.
Yes.
And you said the anonymous one can only be done today, but is that correct?
Well, they could come back another day. They just didn't have a lot of time. So they couldn't be like after this topic. Not that we'd have time unless you guys wanted to extend it.
Okay. So is Random here? Random, are you here?
Brandon, did you get back?
Random's here, but we
Yeah,
also have
Brandon's
to
here.
edit Random's topic because they added something to it, and I don't have access to that. Or do I have access to that topic? Forgot it. I'm a moderator or something.
What's Villain Talk Michigan?
A lot of villainous deeds do happen in Michigan.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. Michigan is the place. You know what's interesting? I met a person.
Because it's Joe's post, I can't edit it.
Huh?
Oh, because it's
Because
Joe's
it's your
post.
post, I can't edit it.
Well, you can't edit my post.
I don't think so. Oh wait,
Oh.
never mind. I think I can. Never mind, I can.
You can
Oh.
edit my posts.
I'm sorry, I'm just
Which-
getting really tired.
Which one are we doing?
It's
Are we
okay.
doing the first one or the second one?
If it is the first one,
Conversational skills.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And for the anonymous person,
Random
we-
also said that they can go ahead.
oh, okay.
So
Who can go ahead?
Random said that Anonymous could go ahead
Yeah, but
Yeah, but we
I
can't
mean,
do anonymous.
if they're important.
we can't do the anonymous one.
There's two Anonymouses.
Yeah,
One
is it-
Anonymous is here.
Yes.
My Anonymous, or the Anonymous that sent through me.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's do that.
I don't
one.
know who your Anonymous is
Mm-hmm.
because it's Anonymous.
One thing is random. We'll never get to yours because every time you'll be like, nah, someone else should go. But I
Oh, yeah.
respect that.
Oh,
Someday we will force it.
We're
like we
gonna-
had
we
to do
will.
for who was it?
Akil.
Keel.
Yep. Finally, we were just like, nope, Akil, we're doing yours today. Today's the day.
Yeah, I miss that guy. I actually ran into Akil. You would not believe this.
Really?
I was on Miffy's stream
Oh,
watching her stuff, and some random dude was like, wait a minute, Ryan? And I was like, yeah. And they were going by some name I never saw before. It was the name I didn't recognize. I won't say it because I don't even remember it right now. But yeah, they're like, wait a minute, hey, this is Akil. And I'm like, what the heck? How do you know Miffy? And they're like, yeah, we're part of this whole thing that we're doing in our, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's so insane. How do you know? Like, and he asked me how I knew her, and it was great. So I totally ran into him on YouTube on a completely unrelated thing. It was awesome.
mm-hmm.
Love
That's
that guy.
awesome. Yeah, he's cool. All right, so we're gonna do the anonymous losing someone important.
Yes.
Is that the right one?
yes.
Okay,
Is that the right one?
fantastic. And thank you, Random, for being so gracious. You're amazing.
Yeah, you're awesome.
Arigato.
Yes. All right. Hey, Princess, you got a link for us. Perfect. I can click it and make sure it's
You
good.
better send it because it's a better link.
No,
Uh-huh.
no.
Uh-huh.
It's right there. See, mine has a parentheses at the end, and yours has a slash at the end. Oh, does mine go to the right place?
Why it
Isn't
does.
that
It
an
goes to an even better place
ampersand?
than mine goes. Wow.
That's weird. That's weird.
Anyway.
All right. So you can click either one of those links. The first one came first. So you should click that one.
Obviously,
And-
you should click the second one because Joe.
Well, it'll be just fine. Either one will get you there. So just, yeah. And Princess, you can feel free to read it whenever. But soon would be good. Sooner than later.
Yeah, and if you don't, you could, honestly, you should probably just cut someone off while they're talking because they're going to keep on interrupting you every time you're about to begin. And I'm not going to say who it is, but I will probably point to the person.
Would you,
Hey,
you guys just
everyone.
amazed at how Princess puts up with us? Like, seriously. She's incredible. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just read it already. Yeah, what the heck?
I love you guys.
We love you too.
Hey everyone! A few days ago, and on the worst possible day, I lost someone who is very important to me. They were my best friend, and I saw them as my other half. Because of an accident I had that I don't want to go into detail about, I couldn't remember much. But I went to talk to this friend and saw that they had messaged me saying that they didn't want to be friends anymore. I tried to talk to them and find a way that we didn't have to stop being friends, but they insisted and shot down every idea I had. They said I was probably lying about getting hurt, didn't take their advice enough, or was too annoying to be around, and several other hurtful things. As if tolerating my presence was like walking on glass. That's what they said. As far as I could tell, they had never told me any of this before. They unfriended me and told me not to talk to them again, but said I had their permission to talk to our mutual friends. I didn't think it was fair, and they promised me that they would never leave me. Everyone tends to leave me eventually, but when they promised me, I believed them. They had my deepest level of trust and respect, but I guess I didn't show it well enough. I don't remember a lot, but I know we were close. It really hurt when they left me behind like I was nothing. They didn't do it for me, they did it for themselves. It's really upsetting me, and I know that they are probably never coming back. But if they were to come back, I would happily accept them with open arms. Maybe they don't want me around, but I still want them to be happy. If they are happier without me, then so be it. But I still want them to be happy. And it still hurts. Before you think badly of this person, know that they are a very sweet and kind person, and I still want them to be happy, even though they promised they wouldn't leave. And like an idiot, I believed them. From Anonymous.
Wow. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Anonymous, that you're going through this. This is definitely a really, really hard time. And I applaud you for having the courage to voice it and put it out there, because, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Being hit with something like this, I don't know if I'd be able to, even type it out. So that I'm impressed with you for that. And yeah, this is definitely a really hard situation. So I'm hoping that we can do it justice. And I'm not going to take any more time before I hand it over to Ryan and get him started, because
All right.
he's a wise and brilliant man, and I could talk forever. But
I don't
maybe
know
I
if
just will. Maybe I'll
do
just
that
continue to
justice.
fill the air with words.
Please do. Please do.
Sorry.
I love hearing your voice. All right. Yeah. It's like most of the time on this show, we can talk about a lot of this stuff because we've experienced it firsthand. And this is one of those few things where it's like, I don't think I've ever experienced that. I've never had head trauma or anything where I've forgotten or had minor forms of amnesia or anything like that. That seems really would be really strange to go through. I mean, as long as I wouldn't have lost my personality and wisdom, I would get through it fine. And I'd be like, well, there that goes. It's not like I haven't forgotten something before, but I've forgotten a lot. So, but it would be quite an interesting thing to go through. But on top of that, to have a friend of yours, a close friend who you trust and you love and you care for, and you definitely do love, you want them to be happy, even if your heart's broken, you still want them to be happy. And I think that's a beautiful thing, right? That says a lot about you, and that says a lot about the love and forgiveness that you have in your heart. And I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really great quality, and I hope that doesn't change. No matter how many times someone breaks your heart, that is the right response, because that is the response that takes those takes those wounds and turns them into scars, turns them into tough and more open heart. Like if you are wronged by someone and you have a different approach than what you did, and you're like, no, I hope they rot, I hope that they have a terrible time, a curse, I hope they have a curse upon them, whatever. it doesn't do anything with the wound in your heart except for fill it with poison.
Mm.
You know, and it leaves that heart gaping and wounded. And you put up walls to protect it that are artificial instead of actually letting the heart heal. And what you're doing instead is you're having a heart that says, you know what, they hurt me, but I still want the best for them. I still want their happiness. And you want your happiness too. That's the right response, because now you're taking your heart and you're treating it. You're not just putting up a wall that says, oh, I will never trust anybody again. Because that's the road a lot of people go down. And I don't want you to go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want you to go down that road. You know, there's so many people who have wounded hearts out there, and they refuse to patch them. They refuse to come to terms with it. And they just put up this wall, and they walk around and they shun everybody. They say, I don't trust anybody. They'll only hurt you. And then they end up having a life of a wounded heart that never heals. And they have a hard time making friendships and all of that. And it's rough. It's really rough. And my heart goes out to those people. Instead, what you're doing is you're taking this moment and you're saying, you know, I don't know what went wrong, but I still love them, and I forgive them. And if they come back, I will have my arms open for them. And I think that that's a beautiful response. You know, another thing is, just because you forgive someone and you want their happiness doesn't mean you have to accept them back into your life. What I mean is, sometimes you can wish for the best for somebody, right? But it doesn't mean that they need to be around you or you need to be around them to have the best lives. Sometimes we have to move on. And sometimes, you know, drama happens where it's just like, I don't know, people can't get it out of their heads. You kind of have to let them go, you know? And that's unfortunate, but it happens. What I think is the right response is something that you're already doing, and that's forgiveness. The best way to heal from this is forgiveness. The interesting thing about forgiveness is it doesn't just heal your heart, because technically, I mean, you cannot go back to the way things were, right? Because the past is the past. You can go back to something that's like it used to be, but the truth is that event happened. Whatever it was, that event happened, and you both remember it, or one of you remembers it. You know, either way, the event happened where you two parted. And so when you get back together, that event will still be in your past. There's no thing that they can possibly do to make up for it, because they can't go into the past and change it. So there's no undoing. There's no way to fix it, right? Technically speaking, because we don't have a time machine. Mm-hmm. But what's beautiful about forgiveness is that it doesn't just repair or heal a heart. It doesn't just purify it. It turns it into something better than what it was before. And that's a beautiful thing. Because when you're able to take something and it's hacked away, and then you're able to replace that hacked mark with the most pure and holy essence, and it becomes a lot stronger. It becomes a lot better good-willed. It just grows in every way, you know, basically. That's a beautiful thing. And that's something that's accomplished through hardship and forgiveness. And so that's why I have to just say, I appreciate your response already. And I think you're already going down the right road. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's great. It would be hard to go through this, but if it were me, I would try to contact the person, get a clear understanding, and just say, hey, I clearly have done something wrong. And here's the thing. I don't necessarily need to know if I've done something wrong or not, I guess, right? It doesn't matter to me. I'm keeping my emotions on the sideline. I'm not going to get caught up in it. So whatever they respond with, I'm not going to be hurt by it. And I'm not going to go in feeling hurt. I'm not going to go in being the victim. I'm going to go into a conversation saying, hey, clearly I must have done something wrong. And I'm sorry, can you explain to me what's going on? Where I messed up? And just take the response and judge who they are as a person based on that. All right. Now, we're not supposed to judge people, right? We're not supposed to judge people in the sense of condemning them, right? We're not supposed to judge people's souls, right? So people say, hey, don't judge others. Well, this community, Black Static and Swerve, is a fantastic example of not judging people. Like here on Don't Worry Wednesday, we don't judge you. You could come forth with your addictions and your sins and whatever, and we understand them. We can feel that. We understand. We've been to those places, and so it's okay. Like, we're not going to judge you, but you can judge a person's actions, right? And you can judge where they are at that moment and whether or not you should be spending time with them. You should judge whether or not you should be spending time with people. Why? Because your time is valuable, and you as a human being are infinitely valuable, just as much as they are, right? They're infinitely valuable and you're infinitely valuable. But what you do with your time matters. And the people you spend around, rather the environment you spend your time around, matters. You can spend all day listening to music that is like, pity me, oh, like, life is terrible and I've got all these problems, like emo music, right? And at the end of the day, you're gonna come out of that day feeling terrible, not refreshed. You're going to come out of that day feeling like, man, what a lousy day. Yeah, sure, they related to you. The people on the other side of that song related to you. They get it. They know what it's like to go through hard times. But you could also spend that time listening to people who've gone through hard times, but they have positive music. They try to lift you up. And at the end of that day, you're going to feel a lot better. And you can subject yourself to mean people, and you can subject yourself to nice people. And it's important to make that decision for yourself. So when you ask them for their response, don't go in feeling emotional. Don't go in trying to gain a friend back at that moment. Go in saying, hey, I just need to understand where you're coming from so I can be on the same page as you. And if they are clearly not wanting to be your friend and they're being a jerk, or maybe you don't even need to do this, you can just read through the messages they've already posted, then you can identify, like, hey, is this a person that I would want my loved ones to be around if they were treating them that way? Is this a person that I should be, for my own health, for my own wellness, for my own attempt to being a great human, should I be subjecting myself to this person? Because here's the thing. The people that you hang around are the people that you start to act like. And if you want to act like them and how they're acting, then that's a great person to be around. But if you don't want to act like how they're acting, then don't be around them. If this person can't find the forgiveness in their heart to forgive you for whatever it was that you did, or they don't have the tolerance in their heart to tolerate you as a human being and your uniqueness, because that's a thing too. I've met plenty of people who just can't tolerate other people for being different. And that's disturbing. It's like, hello, we're all humans and we're all different, and there are plenty of reasons for other people to have to tolerate you and your weirdness, and they do it. Why are you so like get over yourself? It's okay to tolerate someone, but if they can't do that, that's not who you want to become. Hang out with the people that you want to become like, because you're already better than that if you can tolerate someone, right? And if that's their problem, is they just can't tolerate it anymore, then you're already in the right line if you kind of just steer away from them. And I don't mean any disrespect to your friend, because they're human too, and they need this advice just as much as you do. They need to make sure that they're being the best version of themselves, because otherwise they're not going to like themselves. They're not going to like themselves a whole lot if they have trouble tolerating people, if they have trouble forgiving people, either of those things. That's really hard. In fact, as hard as this is on you, it's also just as hard on them, but in a very different way. Theirs eats at their soul in the shadows where they cannot see it. Yours eats at your soul right in front of your face. And I can tell you one thing. When something is eating at your soul right in front of your face, that problem gets solved a lot faster and with a lot less damage than when something's eating at your soul from the shadows. Because they take bite after bite without you noticing for years sometimes before you finally realize what's been going on in your heart that you needed to change. So I feel sorrow for them just as much as I do you, because that's not an easy situation to go through. So the best thing is for you guys to work it out, right? And forgive each other. And so make sure you forgive them. You don't have to tell them, hey, I forgive you, right? Just forgive them in your heart. A lot of times if we go to someone and say, hey, I forgive you, they're gonna be like, excuse me, I didn't mess up, you know? And you're just like, hey, you did this wrong, but it's okay. Excuse me, I didn't do anything wrong. You did. It's going to be their response. Right. So don't go to people and say, hey, I forgive you. No, forgive them in your heart, in your own time, in your own head, because that's what the whole point of forgiveness is. It's all about what's going on in here and in here, right? And they need to do the same thing inside themselves. Instead, go to them just as you are, with open arms and saying, hey, I really, really want to be your friend. And I don't know what's going on between us. It hurts. But if you want to be my friend, just say so. If you want to work this out, just say so. And if you don't want to work it out, there's nothing you can do. Or sorry, if you don't want to work it out, there's nothing I can do, is how you'd say it. You know, because if they don't want to work it out, they won't. That's just how it is. Like most people, if they don't want to work out the solution to something, they don't work out the solution to it. That's it. And so at that point, you just have to take your losses and then make them your gains. Sometimes we think of losses like, okay, well, it's lost to me and I'll never get it back. And so it's just emptiness. I used to have it and now it's gone. But the truth is, there is gain in loss. Because I just talked about it before, when you forgive someone, right, you're taking a loss and you're putting something there that's even better than it could be if you never lost anything at all. Sometimes you take a loss and you go, you know what? I was going the wrong direction in the first place. I needed this loss to help steer me in the right direction. Sometimes you realize you were being attached to things that you had no right being attached to. There are many times where I see people who put their own happiness in the hands of others. They say, hey, this person makes me happy and I need to be around them to be happy. Well, that's not good, because first of all, that means you can't be in control of your own happiness. And second of all, you're telling the other person that they're responsible for your happiness. So now they're responsible for their own happiness and your happiness. Like, that's rude. That's actually rude, because it's not their responsibility, especially if it's not being made known to them. But it's not their responsibility, and it's not in their control. No one can purposefully make another person happy. They can try and they can do a lot of things that can bring joy. But lasting happiness is not a trait we can give people. We can provide the environment, but sometimes you can provide the environment and no one appreciates it and no one is happy anyways. There are many times where many of people have created the environment for happiness for other people, and instead you just get depressed people. It's like, what happened? And then you give people horror and they become out happy. And it's like, what?
Right.
You know, sometimes people have to go through something really hard to come out on the other side and realize they're satisfied with their selves, and that they had to work hard to get where they are now, and they appreciate themselves, and now they're happy, right? Happiness requires appreciation of oneself, and that doesn't come from leaning on somebody else, right? And so there are situations where I've seen people, I'm not saying this is you at all, but I'm just saying there are situations where I see people lose things like friendships. And then from that moment, they finally start to get a hold of themselves and a hold of their life and a hold of their happiness, and they can start moving forward. So my point is, sometimes we can lose things and it can feel bad, but it's really a step in the right direction. Or it could be, hey, I lost this and now I have to work really hard to get it back. And that work and dedication to bring it back makes that relationship so much stronger than it ever could have been. And that happens too. That happens a lot. And it's beautiful because true friendships, they go through this.
Mm-hmm.
And if they come out on top, man, it is so strong. That friendship gets stronger and stronger, and you become more and more loyal and reliant on each other. But if that's not the case this time, that's all right too. But anyways, I know I talked for a long time. I'm going to move it on to Joe, and I'm sure he's got a lot of great things to say.
I was wondering who Icy Phoenix's mom was at first, but it was a typo. So I'm like, wait, you brought your mom to the show? Sorry.
Oh, that would have been great.
It's autocorrect. But anyway, Anonymous, first of all, I want to thank you for the topic. Second of all, I want to thank you for being who you are in this situation. Because like Ryan was saying, I have to give you mad respect for still wishing happiness for the other person. You know, the person who just basically dropped a brick on you, you know, and just, I mean, that's a crushing blow that you've endured with this. And it just, it's amazing because, you know, this was your close friend. You thought everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, boom, like, I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, what? So it's kind of like getting sucker punched, you know, and this person who sucker punched you and then just left is, you know, someone who was like one of your closest friends. I mean, that's hard. And for you to have it in your heart that you want them to be happy, that's a true sign of a wonderful, wonderful person inside there. So I just have to say thank you for being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for being that way and expressing that, because that's huge. And as you navigate this process, you know, sometimes what Ryan said with the, you know, getting in touch with them and just asking what the heck, you know, well, not in
So,
those versions.
hey, excuse me, what the heck? That's all.
Sorry.
That's all I got.
To paraphrase it coldly, I guess.
That's never, not how you want to do it.
Right. What this could be an opportunity for you to seek out a blind spot that you might have. I have blind spots in my life. Ryan doesn't have very many. He's pretty sharp on pretty much his whole life, I think.
I have glasses for a reason.
Oh yeah, to keep the blind spots away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about getting side view mirrors on them.
There you go. So yeah, it gets rid of the blind spot. And what I mean by blind spots is like there are behaviors and there are things that I do that I don't even notice that other people see and are glaringly obvious, and it's like, you know, and it might be offensive to people and it might, you know, but I don't know it's happening. Right? And so there might be something that you didn't even realize was going on, but you're just living your life and being yourself, and then all of a sudden, but something that was going on was hard for this person to deal with, and they were like, you know, nope, I can't take this anymore, blah 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 blah. I remember a friend of mine one time, you know, he came to me and he was distraught, and I was like, what is going on, man? And his girlfriend had gone to see her therapist, and her therapist had told her she needed to break up with her boyfriend. and that was a bad relationship for her to be in, and so she broke up with him. And so he was just like like what? You know? And I remember him just standing there. He was shell shocked. He was just like, what?
Yeah, it's dumbfounded.
What just happened? And he didn't know if he was supposed to cry or be angry or, you know, what. He was just like stunned. And I imagine that there was the same type of feeling that you had when this was happening to you while you were in that moment. It's like, what just happened? And so if it's appropriate, and you know, you reach out to them and they're willing to engage in conversation with you again for even for just a few minutes or something, it might be a way for you to get some insight on a blind spot that you might not realize. Because what Ryan was saying, you know, like what happened? You know, I had no idea what was going on, you know, and what did I do that made you feel this way? And if you come at it from the perspective of seeking information rather than seeking to get the relationship back like it's a possession, because people will sniff that out, right? Like if I'm going to a friend of mine, and you know, if I did something hurtful to a friend and I didn't really know what was going on, if I'm going just because, you know, like I want them as my friend and I want everything, you know, that's maybe they'll let me know what was going on. But if my chances will be a lot better if I'm absolutely sincere in my question of, you know, I really just want to know, because I don't know what it was that I was doing. Like this is you know, this is I don't even know what to say. Like whatever it was I was doing, I wasn't trying to be harmful. I wasn't trying to hurt you. By no means. And if I did, I really want to know what it was so I don't do that to anybody else. You know, and even, I mean, you can go as far as to say, you know, you don't owe me your friendship. You know, I understand, you know, if you decide not to be my friend still, that's, you know, that's up to you for sure. And I'll respect your decision either way, but I just don't want to go through my life, you know, as some kind of, you know, with a hammer in my hand, banging people on the head with it, you know, without even knowing that I'm doing it. Right. And a lot of times people will then, it gives that person a chance to maybe vent if they need to, or also give information, which people like to feel like they're smart. So they like to give people information, right? So that's something that might be a way that you can help them feel better about this whole situation, right? And it will also give you some insight on if you do happen to have a blind spot like I was talking about. So, but what Ryan was talking about is absolutely true. Your heart is in the right place. And even though this is a painful experience, through these painful experiences comes a more beautiful existence than ever could have existed before. That's why these things exist. That's why, you know, I mean, evil in the world exists because through the redemption of that evil, a greater good comes. It's a beautiful thing. We're coming up on Lent and then Easter, and in the Easter Mass, they talk about the fall of man. They talk about Adam and Eve, and they say, "Oh, happy fault." Because what it did was it made it so that the creator of the universe would come to earth in human form and do what he did for us. And, you know, like that's I mean, whether you believe in, Christianity or Catholicism or anything or nothing at all, the point remains that when things that are bad that happen, a greater good is just around the corner. Because it can be redeemed. And it's redeemed, like Ryan was talking about, through forgiveness. That healing, that redemption, it happens through forgiveness, through repentance. So if you do find out that there was a blind spot and that you did something that hurt this person, even though you didn't mean to, the way you heal from that is to be repentant of that, to say you're sorry, to, turn from that, to try and make amends for that. That's how you heal. And through that healing process, everything is better. And not just healed, not just smoothed over, but better than it ever was before or ever was possible to be before. Not to mention the fact that through these challenges we get stronger and are able to handle more and more challenges in the future. That's one of the things, like if you're a praying person and you pray for strength, it's tough because you're going to get shown your weaknesses a lot. If you pray for patience, you're going to have things withheld from you a lot. So you can learn these things, but that's how we grow. We grow through these struggles. We grow through challenges. We grow through these painful moments. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm so glad that when Ryan asked me to come and do this show with him, all those many years ago, however many years that was, 3 years ago maybe. Has it been 3 years?
Something like that.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah. Maybe even 4. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. But I'm so glad because this is where people are growing. These challenges, all the challenges, like your challenge and the challenges we hear on this show. And that's why I feel it's so important, to be here. Because I know that if you can learn to handle this situation right, you're going to be a stronger, happier, and just more capable person than you ever were before. And that's just amazing. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have. Ryan, did you have anything else?
No, I think that was really great. I absolutely agree. And
look, Ryan is smiling.
I just sincerely hope that that you both can find your way through this. And whether you guys become friends or not, that you keep your good heart and attitude of just wanting the best for both of you. I think that's really, really the best you can shoot for. So yeah, stay amazing. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what was so funny? Was it what I was talking about? You guys were laughing at what I was
saying. The chat was going on about how Elon Musk installed a chip into my brain so that I could type without having to type. They didn't see me moving my shoulders when I was typing, so they're like, he's got a chip implanted in his brain that allows him to type. And I was like, I wish. It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Exposed it. Yeah, see?
If you've I don't think this video is up anymore, but there was this video Ryan did years and years and years and years and years ago. He did a cover of Tetris songs on his on his keyboard.
Man, that was a good one.
You would be able to see that, yeah. You might not necessarily see any other part of Ryan moving, but his fingers would just be like.
My arm moved too.
I
Remember, it reached all the way across that keyboard for that one note and came back.
You did, but for the most part, I mean, your fingers look like spiders. Your hand is just like, and you're just like moving like crazy. I'm like, whoa! You did like a speed metal version of Tetris.
Yeah, that was essentially what it was. Yeah, speed metal version of Tetris, except for with a keyboard.
On a keyboard,
no drums or anything.
Yep, it was so cool. I'm gonna make him find that video and repost it.
I think it's still there.
Is it?
It's on my old channel. Yeah.
Oh.
Man, that's an old channel.
We'll have to put
Oh,
that. We're
gosh,
gonna have
it's
to.
So
We're gonna have
cringy,
to.
but I'm gonna put it in the chat.
All right.
If someone else does it before me, that's fine. I'm so sorry that you'll have to watch any of this if any of you choose to watch this. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's great, man.
All right.
Rybot.
Oh gosh. Oh man. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
everyone.
beautiful.
Here
I promise you it's
go.
beautiful.
It's
Oh,
beautiful. Thank you,
so
Princess. Thank
cringy.
you. Princess is
Oh,
right. Hey,
there you
there it
go.
is. Hey, I'm gonna click on it too. I'm gonna watch it after we're done here. This is gonna be great. Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Where's the
Sketch
Tetris
Elves.
one? Where's the Tetris?
Tetris is
Oh,
the
there it
first
is.
one.
Tetris
Yeah,
improvisation.
if you slide over, you can find Tetris improvisation.
14 years ago.
Yeah, it's got 3.3 thousand views. Wow. And the next one has 6.6K. Wow, that's pretty good.
From 2007. Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
barely knew you.
No, yeah, that was like the year we met pretty much. Maybe we met in 2000. Yeah, no, we met in 2007.
2006. No,
2006? Okay, it was.
yeah, well, I don't know if I really talked to you much,
Mm-mm.
but I saw
Yeah, it was
you for the first time in 2006.
2006, yeah.
And it was the fall of 2006. So this was like 6 months after the first time I ever saw you.
Yeah. Man, that was... Oh, there is a drum beat
And
with this.
subscribed. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Me too.
Wow, it's not going to put out any... There's zero plans for any extra additional content on that channel. So
Oh, wait, I'm already
no
subscribed.
need to subscribe.
I just tried to hit the button and it says unsubscribe. No, don't unsubscribe. I'm one of those subscribers.
Yeah.
Look
Wow.
at all these subs, man. Woo!
Wow,
You're
it's like
blowing up.
YouTube's gonna start promoting this channel out of nowhere just because they're like, hey, this channel just got 4,000 subs. Let's see if it how it does.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that'll be great.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Tetsugan posts again.
what?
Hamarock Hero said, can't wait till Tetsugan Z posts again.
That's right.
It's only been like 10 years or more.
Yes. It's good stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here this week on Don't Worry Wednesday.
Scribbles.
Yes, the man himself. You know what? Honestly, I think he probably looks about the same as he does
Nah.
now.
Nah, it's different. I was like a different guy.
He's got different glasses.
Yeah, and different hair.
It's just not quite as long.
Yeah, all my hair's fallen out since then. But regrown. You know, it's just different hairs.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Yeah.
Also, your favorites list has 3 videos.
I know. I noticed that. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Uni might kiss the rain. Okay, yeah. Adam Ray 2 Guys is hilarious, and taking people's umbrellas is awesome. Oh, I love those videos. I have to watch them after. I haven't seen those in so many years.
Nice.
Anyways.
Hey, look at that. You're a subscriber to a single duel on Tetsukan Z. I don't think Static P is, though.
Oh, really? Well then, I have to fix that.
Anyway, thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. We love you.
Yeah,
I'll
we
speak
do.
for everybody. And mad props. See, you guys got to see firsthand what Princess gets to deal with. Isn't she amazing?
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Mm-hmm. We love you too. That's why we give you such a hard time.
And that's why I stay, because I love you.
Oh, yes. Thank you. But yes, you're absolutely right, Icy. Princess is amazing. And so are
Definitely.
all of you. And thank you guys so much for being here. Come back next week for the next Don't Worry Wednesday, where we will talk about all kinds of stuff. And it'll be fun. So, till then,
That's right.
have a great week, guys.
Bye-bye. Peace.
Love you guys.